Hello. Okay, so building your food service business is about so much more than pretty Instagram pictures and transitions that you can do on Reels and TikTok. It's about so much more than that. So today I want to talk to you about what that looks like and a few key elements that will help you build a more sustainable business that you, your clients, and your team actually love. Okay. And so, if this is your first time joining me, my name is Cambray Michelle. I work with chefpreneurs to help them simplify and streamline their online operations to increase their efficiency and their profit margins. I am all about simplicity, fun, enjoying your business, loving your life. And so I just want you to understand that there's so much more that goes into business. I understand that we see a lot of pretty pictures on Instagram, and we see a lot of nice Instagram pages, fun TikToks, and everything like that. But does that mean that a business, a competitor, is more successful than you? No, that doesn't mean that at all. I want you, as a person who is part of my community, as a chef who's part of this community here, I want you to be able to build a business that is long term, a business that makes sense, a business that you love. And so I just want to give you these key elements and take what works for you, and dump what doesn't. But as a person who has been a chef for a while, who had a catering business, who has worked for several different types of food service businesses and hospitality businesses, these are the things that I've learned. And so I want to share those things with you today. If you are watching live, or even if you're watching the replay, go ahead and introduce yourself in the comments. And then also make sure that you tag a friend, invite a friend, share this with the chef entrepreneur who needs to hear this information today. We don't do gatekeeping around here. Like, we share information. I want you to be successful. I want your friends to be successful. So let's build a community here. All right. So let's jump on in. Okay, so having a food service business, as I've said already, is not just about pretty Instagram pictures and fun TikTok transitions. That is a tiny piece even of marketing. So it's an even tinier piece of your business. Okay, so if you want to build a sustainable business, there has to be much more to it than meets the eye, or that people can see on social media. If you want to know the key elements to building a sustainable business, then stick around with me. And at the end of this video, I will share more details about how we can work together and how I can help you set these things up. If you have to go at any point, just tap the link in my bio. You can apply to work with me and we can talk more about it. Or you can DM me and we can talk more about it from there. But here we go. So the number one thing is communication. When I first started my business, listen, actually, honestly, if we take business out of it, even in my personal life, I was scared to communicate. I've been scared to communicate with people because I didn't want to get in trouble, right? I didn't want to get in trouble by my clients. I didn't want them to feel disappointed when I messed something up. Even my bosses, even my parents, my friends, anything, I never wanted to disappoint them. So I figured, hey, if I'm not communicating, when something goes bad, they'll just assume everything's good and I can fix it really quick. Listen, that is not how business works. That's how you get sued. That's how you get those people on social media that want to call you out. That's how you get emails where you get cussed out, okay? And I don't want that for you. So, hold on a second. Okay, so I didn't want to be overbearing, but I also didn't want to get in trouble when I made a mistake. So I just kind of avoided communication at all costs. And like, I would communicate when I felt like there was nothing else for me to do. And so now I have found that it's so much better to consistently communicate with my clients no matter what. So it doesn't matter if things are going really well or things are going haywire and some stuff got messed up, tech got broken, I'm sick or whatever the case may be, I'm always making sure that I communicate because that makes for a much better client experience, if you know what I mean. So now I communicate with my clients weekly about what's going on in their projects. And I also, for longer projects, we have, you know, video calls for each phase of their project just to make sure that we're always on the same page and nothing has changed. For me, that's very important because I don't want to email you back and forth all the time. I don't, like communication is hard enough for me, but if we can communicate in a way that makes sense for both of us and we're checking in when things are good, we're checking in when something needs to change, we're always checking in with each other, then we're good, right? So the same applies for you and your clients, okay? So I want you to create communication standards that make sense for you and the service that you're providing, okay? If you don't feel like you're over communicating, I low key want you to reevaluate because a lot of times we just are not communicating enough. And so I want you to evaluate your process for communicating with your customers and clients, making sure that you're talking to them often enough, even if you are sending out automated emails weekly or monthly, depending on how you guys are working together. That's something that you would have to evaluate in your own business. Okay. So the first thing is communication. That is part of building a sustainable business, making sure that you are communicating with your customers and clients, and even communicating with people who are on your email list, your social media. It's just building a business. A lot of it is communication. And I think a lot of people forget that, or they don't realize how important communication is, but it is so important. Okay. The second thing is simple processes. Like, oh my God, this gnat is gonna get on my nerves. Like, anyway, okay, simple processes. Sometimes the processes that we create in our business can become overly complicated because we don't see the value in simplicity. If we're being honest with ourselves, if like a lot of times we're like, oh, it's so simple. How could it possibly be this simple? That can't be right. There must be something that I'm missing. And simplicity does not mean that it's missing anything. Simplicity can mean that, okay, I have simplified this process and it makes the most sense. It's efficient. It works for me, my team, and my clients. And so it works for us. And so I don't want you to overcomplicate things because you feel like simplicity, there's something wrong with simplicity, okay? Keeping things simple helps my team and my clients feel supported without feeling overwhelmed. That's what works for me in my business. Now, when it comes to food service, there are ways that you can simplify your processes, which I actually work with my clients on. And so we go through the different processes that you have in your business, whether it's different processes in your business, because if we really think about it, so many different processes that we're not thinking about on a regular basis because, oh, they're just happen. But if they're overcomplicated, they're not going to work for a sustainable business, if that makes sense. Okay. So if you get nothing else from this lesson today, I want you to remember that simplicity does not mean that your process lacks anything. It can mean that your process is efficient, and it can also mean that your process moves forward with ease. Okay? So if you get nothing else from this talk right now, that's what I want you to remember. Okay? All right. So the standards, okay? I never used to have set quality standards in my business for whatever reason. I feel like at some point I just didn't want to do it. Well, in the beginning, I feel like it was because like I didn't know what my quality standards should be. Like I had no idea that that should be a thing. And then at some point it became the fact that I didn't want to be disappointed if a quality wasn't what I expected it to be. But now I understand that if I don't have quality standards, first of all, how will my team know when something is right? How will my clients know that they can trust me and they can work with me because we have the same quality standards? It's just so many things, right? So it sounds crazy, the fact that I didn't want to be disappointed in my quality standards not being met, but that just means the project isn't over yet. Or sometimes like you have to adjust your standards based on what your client needs, based on, you know, what they can pay, so many things. Not that didn't make sense. Not based on what they can pay, because the quality standards are quality standards. It doesn't matter. But you just need quality standards, right? So now that I have quality standards, I have them for literally everything in my business, including the tasks that that my team members complete. The quality standards are like, okay, what does a good job look like? Whether you are checking my email, whether you are, communicating with clients, does a good job look like, and what does a bad job look like? I think a lot of times we want to forget that part and skip over that part. What does a bad job look like? But it's so important that somebody can understand good and bad, right? So I also have quality standards for projects with clients. Like, okay, what does their project need to look like? What makes this final, right? Before, I never thought about that. I never thought about, if I need somebody else to support me, if I need somebody else to help me with these processes and systems and, getting these projects out to clients, how can I tell them if they did a good job or not? If they never from the beginning, never even knew, okay? You can't. So it is not enough to have a mental quality standard. That is not going to help anybody but you. And you know what? Also, your mind changes. So it's really not going to help you in the long term. So as a business owner, you also need to document, clearly define, and clearly explain what these quality standards are. If you cannot explain it, you might want to get some help explaining it, which I help my clients with as well. But also, like, you're going to have to take some time and sit down, even if this is what I do a lot of times when I feel like I can't put something directly to paper yet. Sometimes I will just turn my video camera on. It's not going live. It's not doing anything but just recording me talking through something. And sometimes I'll even add like screen recording too and try to type out things that I can't necessarily say. So that gives me the opportunity to make this standard, to, get out what is in my mind that it is hard for me to explain to someone else. Then I'm not embarrassed about what I'm saying because I'm just talking to myself on camera, but I'm getting the thoughts out. And so then a team member, if I need to share that and I feel like it's a good enough explanation, I can share that with a team member that needs to understand what I'm talking about. So that's just a little tip if you need some help creating processes and systems in your business. Okay. So the three things that we've talked about to help you build a sustainable business are: number one, communication; number two, simple processes; and then number three, quality standards. Okay, so these last two go hand in hand, and you really shouldn't, especially in a food service business, should not have one without the other. amazing looking food. It's easy to make your food look good on Instagram, but it also needs to look good when it's in front of your client, okay? It needs to look good in real life. Although most of your clients see your Instagram posts, they see what you post, they see the pictures that you share, whether in a brochure or anything like that. Obviously, they've probably seen pictures to begin to want to work with you. They should still be amazed at how beautiful and how amazing it looks and when they experience it for themselves, okay? And then also amazing tasting food, okay? This is something that really pisses me off when it comes to the culinary industry. A lot of people are just like, oh, on Instagram, it looks so amazing. And they're going to continue to tell people about it, continue to share it, and continue to talk about it. But then when you taste it in real life, the shit's not good. And so that's what I'm really tired of. Like, I'm so tired of seeing it. And so I really want more chefs to work on their quality of food, the way that it tastes when you actually experience it in real life. Because Instagram, TikTok, all that shit, it's not real life. Okay, if you want to actually make money and not just be of course, content creators can make money. I'm saying as a food service business, if you actually want to make money, I'm gonna need you to focus on the quality, taste, texture of your food as well, not just the picture. It can all work together, and it can be beautiful and it can taste good. So work on that. Okay, sorry, that's a rant that I like. It pisses me off, seriously. So quality food isn't just about your food looking good. It actually needs to taste great too. Don't get so caught up in the look that you don't even consider how your clients will eat the food. So for example, somebody, they post those pictures with pasta, shrimp pasta, and then the tails are sticking up. When I eat that saucy pasta, I don't want to stick my hands in it to get the shells off. That doesn't make any sense. So when you are making this food that looks good for Instagram, I need you to also think about how somebody is going to consume that. Because I'm tired of going to places, I'm like, oh yes, I want this shrimp pasta, and then I'm digging in my pasta to get shells off of shrimp so that I can eat it. If it's not edible, please do not put it on the plate. I mean, it's just really given like you don't know what you're doing. Okay, so if you can tell, these last two are things that really make a difference for me, and then it makes a difference for your client's experience. Am I going to go back to a place that had shrimp with shells in my pasta? Probably not, unless I can get something else that is much better. But that is giving you don't know what you're doing. So how can I trust you to be able to do something else correctly? Okay, so you need to consider how your clients will eat the food, and then also what ingredients can you marry together that will make your client's palate do a happy dance. All right, so your food should taste just as amazing as it looks on Instagram, as it looks in front of them, as the experience has been before we got to this place, okay? Everything works together. If you want a repeat client, you're going to have to make every part of the process, every part of the experience stellar. Make it amazing. Make it make sense. At least make it flow, okay? So I hope you got me. If you missed those things, let's see, was it 5? The 5 things that help you build the 5 things that help you build a sustainable business are communication, simple processes, quality standards, amazing looking food, and amazing tasting food as well. Okay, so since you've heard this, and if you're reading the blog post, since you've read this, you can't go back to the old way of doing business. sorry, not sorry. Now you have to elevate your business and operate like the business that you have. Okay. So let me know in the comments what part of your business could use an upgrade. All right. So I hope that this has helped you. I hope this has been beneficial. If you need support with upgrading your business systems and putting different tools in place to make sure that that communication goes well, um, to make sure that you have a standard process that is, first of all, documented, understood by your team members, and even your SOPs created so that it's easy to onboard new team members. If you need help getting those quality standards set up for your business so that your clients can come back to you again and again and not feel like they have like a good experience one day and a bad experience another day. If that's what you want for your business, we definitely need to work together, and I can help you with that. So if you need to rewatch this video, we talked about the different things that you need to build a sustainable business. We talked about communication, simple processes, quality standards, amazing looking food, and amazing tasting food, which I went off a little bit, but I needed to. So if you have any questions, feel free to DM me, and I will talk to you guys very soon. I'll make sure I'll post a replay so you can catch up. So I hope you have a wonderful evening.